I'm going to show you the smartest way to build muscle so that you don't end up injured, you don't end up wasting time, and you actually see results. I'm Ben Heron, I'm the owner of the Level Up Academy. I've helped over 1,300 men. I've worked with men from every single continent in the globe. So yes, you're gonna want to save this. And the fifth point is something that not a lot of people actually take into consideration with their programming. So first off, what we need to do is we needed to look at how much you can train. I would recommend to build muscle that you train minimum 3 times a week, and for the sweet spot, it would be 4 times. So firstly, we want to then get our training split. And with that, so we've got the amount of times. So we do, and with that, we want to look at trying to hit as many muscle groups as possible, as frequently as possible. So the mistake that a lot of guys make is they go and do a chest session, then it's not until the next week until they're actually training their chest again. Even when they're doing that, they're using like 6, 7, 8, 9 exercises to hit the chest. Whereas if we trained effectively, you would only need anywhere from 3 to sort of 8 sets. And that allows for you to hit it more times, allows for you to hit more muscle groups, it allows for you to as well burn more calories too if your goal is fat loss. So we want to get the right training split. And when we're looking at the training split, we want to prioritize muscle frequency, okay? So the best splits for someone could be an upper body, lower body, and you would do 2 different variations. So say, for example, your first upper body, it would be more press-based. Your second upper body, it would be more pulling based. Your first lower body being more quad based, more squat based, etc. The second one being more hamstring based, maybe deadlift based, okay? That's one variation that you could do. You could do full body push, full body pull, full body push, full body pull. Or one of my favorite ones, and it's a nice balance between getting frequency and volume, is where you do chest, delts, and arms. So you do your biceps in this too. And then on the next session, you do legs, back, so you do, okay? So this can be a great way that you can get a lot of good volume on that chest session, but then also as well have the strength day. But you need to be a bit careful with programming and stuff for that. If you message me, multi-muscle on Instagram, I'll leave my Instagram link below. I can give you a full video that outlines the best splits on more detail and how to go about putting them into place. Okay, so once you've got your effective training split, you then want to go into your sessions with targets so that you can progress. So you want progressive overload. Okay, now not all exercises are created equal, and you'll be able to progress at the same rate. So chances are you probably haven't been able to progress your lateral raise every single week. Otherwise, you'd be lateral raising 30 kilos, 40 kilos, 50 kilos, which is just, it's unfair, you need to be Ronnie Coleman. So you gotta know how to progressively overload. There's gonna be certain exercises that you can progressively overload from the get-go pretty fast. So this might be like the leg press, it can go up pretty fast. Whereas the deadlift, you might wanna be a bit slower on it and hit your max weights, at the end of the phase. So the end of the 12 weeks, week 8, week 9, week 10, week 11, whereas a leg press, you can be a bit more aggressive with it. When there's exercises that you can't progress with weight, you'll then get stronger for longer. So this is where you will add more stimulus. So, for example, you might be doing the 6 kilo dumbbells for 10 reps on your lateral raises, and jumping to the 8s without form suffering can be a big shock. So, and be, a bit of a stretch too far. And so by adding more stimulus, this is where we may firstly just start off going slower on those 10 reps. That can provide a response to gain muscle. Or we add more reps with that 6 kilos. So instead of doing 10 reps, we go to 12 reps, okay? When you do this, every single session allows for you to progress. Every single session you get something from. The analogy that I would say to you is, if you go to work, you don't do all the work and not pick up the paycheck. If we're going to the gym, we don't just want to go to the gym and not pick up the results. So these little things, instead of you getting annoyed of like, you know, taking time to get up to the 8 kilos, by adding more stimulus, going slower or adding more reps and things, it allows for us to make progress now. And when we look at 52 weeks in a year, those 1% can be huge. And not only that, like, they show on your physique too. You'll automatically start looking better. And if you're not getting compliments, you know, every month or two, that's a sign that, you know, we need to be changing something in our training, okay? So that's the next thing. The next thing we want to then cover is we want to then cover all elements of the range, okay? So every single muscle, so we want to cover the full range, hopefully you can read this, of muscle. So, in your overall weekly plan, let's say biceps for example, you want to cover the lengthened range, you want to cover the mid-range, and you want to cover the shortened range. So the lengthened range might be the likes of an incline curl. The mid-range would just be like any normal curl, so like an easy bar curl, a dumbbell curl, could be you know, most biceps machines. But to get that really shortened position, you'd be looking at like the likes of a spider curl. So we want to do this in our sessions. If we are trying to gain the most amount of muscle, we want to ensure that across the week, all elements of the range are covered and all variations of the movement are covered. So say for example, we're doing hamstrings. We want to make sure that, you know, we're doing a seated leg curl and we're doing a lying leg curl, okay? They'll target different areas for the muscle. So that's the next thing, okay? Now, outside of our training, because you can have, you know, the best training ever, right? But we've got to make sure that you are supporting that with the right nutrition and the right recovery, and as well, the right mindset going into that plan. You can have the perfect plan, but you need to work the plan, okay? So with this, what you want to consider is having 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body weight. So if you're 200 grams, you then want 200 pounds, you want to have 200 grams of protein. Of lean weight, that is. You then also as well want to make sure that you're having those protein multiple times throughout the day. You also as well want to make sure that you're having enough food. A lot of you can sometimes be under eating during the week and then overeating at the weekend. You want to make sure that you're getting 7 hours of sleep. And then you want to make sure when you're going into the gym that you are fully going for it. You know, you are executing the plan to a T. You are making every single set count. You are squeezing the muscle as much as you physically can, like it owes you money, you know, you are going for it. A good like hack to do is video your set, and your last rep should be slower than the first rep, because that's a sign that you are struggling, you know, that's a sign that it's been hard to move that weight. So if you're, like, again, you could have an inefficient plan, but you could be doing the intensity right, you could be doing the nutrition right, and you could be doing the sleep right, etc. And that would get you a result. That's the most important part, you know? It's a really, really important that you put the effort in. I get a lot of questions like, you know, about bodybuilders that do like small reps and things or swing weights. And they're sort of question, well, why are they so big? The reason why is we could question a few of their supplements in their cupboards. But the other thing too is those individuals, generally they're nailing this part, you know, they're going to it even with intensity. So it's like when you've got intensity, when you've got the right nutrition, when you've got the right sleep and things, you know, you can still get a result from the imperfect plan. So that's the most important part, you know, you working the plan. So as I said, if you want an idea of sort of how to go about your training programming, just message the word multi-muscle on Instagram. I'll put the link below. And yeah, let's go. What's the next video? And we'll get you in the best shape of your life.